Alright guys, it's Logan back with Wasteland MTG. Everybody seemed to really like how we did the Dech-Techs last time with the Edgar Markov deck, so today we're going to be doing that again. And today we're going to look at NIV-MIZZET PARUN, one of Ethan's decks, and the last deck we're going to look at before next weekend the gameplay will go up. So we're a little behind. This one was supposed to be last weekend and the gameplay was supposed to be this weekend, but that is now moved back a week because it was finals and everything. But now it's the summer, so hopefully we get back on track here. And let's jump into the deck. So, we got NIV-MIZZET PARUN as the commander. Red, 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 blue, blue, blue. Really hard to cast, but once it's on the field, this is his main engine. So, it's a 5/5, can't be countered, which is good. It has flying, and whenever you draw a card, NIV-MIZZET deals 1 damage to any target. Can be a player. And whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card, whether that's him or one of his opponents. So there's a couple combos in here to just win straight out, but we'll kind of run through what he's playing. So we got one Planeswalker. Teferi draws him a card. This is good. Consecrated Sphinx, again, draws him more cards. One of the main things you'll see in here is that he wants to draw tons of cards to ping for tons of damage and a win from there. More cast non-creature pinging with the Firebrand Archer, making the instant sorceries cost less. I don't even remember what this guy revealed. The first card draw each turn. Yeah, so this guy can cast copies, so that'll draw you extra, or yeah, it'll ping extra and draw you extra cards because of NIV-MIZZET. Gutter Snipe's gonna do a little bit more damage. Harmonic Prodigy is gonna double up those NIV-MIZZET triggers. Casting sorcery spells at Flash is pretty good because he's running. How many sorceries has he got in here? Oh, he's only got 5. Maybe he should cut that. This is Ethan's deck, so we're just running through it. God of Storms. Reveal the first card draw each 2 turns. Oh, this guy's really good. He's played him a few times. If you reveal a land, draw a card, which will deal another damage. And if you don't reveal a land, then you lightning bolt something. So this guy's just more at the beginning of your turn damage. More non-creature damage. Laboratory Maniac. There's a couple combos in here, like I said, that we'll get to that he can run out of cards in his deck. So this is a backup where he might put this down before he starts doing that, just in case somebody doesn't die. Lear, he has a different art of this in there, but spells can't be countered. It is notable that this goes both ways because he does run a decent number of counter spells in here, and there have been times when he can't counter something that he wants to counter. We got both of the other NIV-MIZZETs in here, so he does run all 3. PARUN is the one that he chose as commander just because it has the big combos. But this one, whenever it deals damage, you draw a card and you can pay to make it do the damage. This one, whenever you draw a card, deals 1 damage to any target and you can tap it to draw a card. So they're all about card draw and damage, but PARUN is definitely the better of the 3. Spellskid's going to retarget some stuff. This one's going to give you treasure generation on your instants and sorceries. Tandem Lookout. So Tandem Lookout, this guy here, and the enchantment Ophidian Eye, and the enchantment Curiosity. They all do basically the same thing. We'll look at Curiosity because it's the cheapest mana cost wise. This is the ideal one, but they all 3 do the same thing. They enchant or they soul bond in the case of the Navigator or whatever with PARUN, and they say whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So what happens then is if you have that on NIV-MIZZET, all you need to do is have any player, it can be you, cast an instant or a sorcery. If they do, NIV-MIZZET says, draw a card. Then NIV-MIZZET says, oh, you drew a card. Deal 1 damage to something. Then Curiosity says, oh, you dealt damage to something? Draw a card again, which makes NIV-MIZZET deal damage, draws you a card, deals damage, draws a card. The limitation to this is that you only have 99 cards in your deck, and that's at the beginning of the game. So you probably have less than that. You probably have between 60 and 80 cards. So you can't kill everyone. So, hold on. I gotta get the cat. What are you doing? Loki. Stop it. That's Loki. He's the boy. And he's a butthead. Alright. Now that he's done making noise in the back. So that's a loop that's going to allow you to either deck yourself and win with a Laboratory Maniac, this boy here, or it's going to allow you to loop your deck by reshuffling it if you can cast things at instant speed, which will allow you to draw enough cards to kill everyone. Or if people are already low enough, it's a little bit of math where you're like, oh, total life totals of my opponents are 60. Do I have more than 60 cards in my deck? Cool. But we'll get into those backups with Laboratory Maniac later. That's the main goal. Shows Deckifile is another way to do that, where he's going to try and get 13 cards in his hand. Like we've seen, there's a lot of ways to draw cards, so that is possible. Let's get into the sorceries. He's only got a couple sorceries. Blossom Sack, Ponder. This is a cantrip, is really good in this. Washout, Windfall, and Winds of Change. Winds of Change is really good as the start because he can cast the Winds of Change, which shuffles from their hand into their library. Yeah, so a lot of the times he's got a massive hand, like 30 cards. So if he shuffles those into his deck, it gives him more cards to draw with the Curiosity. So sometimes if people are around, 20 to 30 each, if he Winds of Change, which is only 1 mana, he can put his hand back in the deck, and that gives him enough cards to draw. Instance, he's got 14. Aetherize is good. He's trying to protect himself until he can do his thing. Brainstorm, this one's really good because it's instant speed draw. Counterspell is a charm. Mystic Confluence, Mystical Tutor, Negate, Pongify, Pyroblast, Rapid, Repulse, another counterspell, Tolarian Winds, discard their hand, draw that many. This is like instant speed Winds of Change, except you discard your hand. But he's looking to try and draw, so it's pretty good. Next, we got a little bit of ramp. Got the Arcane Signet, Coalition Relic, Commander Sphere. Is it Key Rune? Is it Locket? Is it Signet? Lightning Greaves is not ramp, but that's good protection. You really don't want NIV-MIZZET to leave because he costs 6 the first time. So if you got to cast him for 8, it's really rough. Mana Geode, Midnight Clock. This one's pretty good because it's Mana Rock for blue, which is pretty rare. And it also gives you the Wheel late, probably after you have NIV-MIZZET. Soul Ring, Spellbook. I'm not a huge fan of this card, but he really likes it, and he likes holding a huge hand in this deck, so I guess it makes sense here. And, of course, he has a Talisman. Talisman of, what is it, Creativity? Yeah. And then, enchantments, like we said, we got Curiosity and Affinity Eye. Also got Sigil of Sleep. This doesn't win with NIV-MIZZET, but it's kind of a little bit of a soft lock. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a player, return target creature that player controls to its owner's hand. I guess it's not a soft lock, but it's really rough. Because unless you can just, like, pump out creatures like crazy, he's just going to bounce all your creatures anytime you do anything. And whenever you cast an instant, he draws a card and bounces one of your things. Or somebody else's thing. Or everything. It's kind of crazy. Oh, actually, no. It does have to be your stuff. But, I mean, whatever. He just hits you with the damage and then bounces your thing. Or if he wants to bounce somebody else's, he hits them with the damage, it bounces their thing. It's pretty rough. Fairy's Edge Slinsight, like we saw, there's a lot of stuff that draws in this deck. Turning a Windfall into everybody discard, draw 6 or 7 or whatever, but he draws 14 or 12 or whatever, is very powerful. So this is definitely a pretty good card for the deck. And then he's running 40 lands. We got the filter lands, the Castle Vantress, Command Tower, Frostbow Snarl, bunch of islands, the bounce land. We're trying to get a 6-mana commander out, so these are fine. Gives you plenty of time. Make sure you hit those land drops. And this one's really good because it gives you 2 colors. Like, when you tap it, you get both. So, that's pretty good. So, Mountains, Mystic Sanctuary. This is really good for getting your Winds of Change back, or one of those wheels back so that you can wheel again. The Reliquary Tower. Again, he really likes to have no maximum hand size in this deck, so I guess I get it. Pathway. The Pain Lands, Shock Lands, all the goodies. But, yeah, that one was a little quicker. I know you guys seem to be liking the quicker deck techs. If you do want to check out the full list, you can check us out at Moxfield. We are Wasteland MTG on Moxfield, so you can go check us out there. This is under Ethan's Commander decks lists. So if you want to check it out for yourself, or do some test hands, or check out cheapest printings of cards and try and piece this together or test it out yourself, you guys can head over to Moxfield and check us out there. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this and you're looking forward to watching the gameplay next weekend, go ahead and subscribe, turn those notifications on, leave us a like if you enjoyed this so that we know that you want to see more deck techs in the future. And we'll see you guys next time.